Well, as we start 2024, unfortunately, there is not good news to report regarding the economy and the housing market. The biggest problem is that the media continues to gaslight the public with absurd lies and false optimism. Take a look at this short video clip to see what I mean.
Let's turn to the economy. Some positive signs continuing this week, with experts saying the robust holiday shopping season is an indicator the economy is in a better place than most experts had expected. Overall, widespread fears of recession in 2023 did not happen.
And if that's not bad enough, take a look at this short video clip talking about how the Fed has succeeded in its fight against inflation.
It's just brutal out there right now and has been for over a year, whether you're looking to buy a house at rates at 8% or sell a house at 8%, which you presumably are looking to buy one after that as well. It's just a bad time to do either. So do you look for that to change in 2024?
I do, partly because I think that the Fed has largely succeeded on the fight against inflation.
So let me ask you guys a question. Do you actually think the Fed has succeeded in lowering inflation and prices? Drop me a comment down below. You see, this is the problem with the media. They are completely detached from reality. Have they actually checked food prices or car prices or insurance prices? None of that is lower. All of it is higher. What a bunch of nonsense. And I'm going to prove to you in the upcoming clips the economic cliff that I think we're headed for in this coming year. What's going on, my YouTube friends? Happy New Year. This is Jerry Abbott, your #1 real estate resource here in beautiful Las Vegas. Hey guys, a couple of real quick things before we dive into the video. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn the cold hard facts about the US economy, the US real estate market, and specifically the Las Vegas real estate market, then definitely subscribe to the channel down below. Number two, if you happen to like the content in today's video, definitely press that thumbs up like button, guys. That would really help the channel out. And number three, if you are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, whether it's next month or next year, I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When the time is right for you, definitely reach out to me. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. Let's dive into the video. So let me explain something to you guys that really irritates me, and it might irritate you as well. The media and the government love to tell us that the economy is booming. And the economy is booming because of the corporate greed and their bottom line profitability, but it's all coming from the fact that we continue to spend recklessly, as you see in that graphic right next to me. So I want to show you two major issues that most people are not talking about, and then I'm going to tie it back to the real estate market. Let's take a look at those right now. All right, so I want you guys to take a look at this chart. This was created by CNN Business. This is the Fear and Greed Index chart, and it pertains to the stock market. Now, if you take a look down here in the bottom left, it kind of looks like an old car speedometer with a needle. On the left side, you have extreme fear, and then it goes to fear, neutral, greed, and then you can see in the green right there, extreme greed, and the needle is pointing all the way over to the right, and we're at a level 76 right now. So the needle goes all the way up potentially to 100, so it's 0 to 100, and you can see that right now we're in the extreme greed category. So there's a reason why I'm showing you guys this graphic, even though it pertains to the stock market. When you see this kind of extreme greed in the stock market and it's massively overbought and we're at record high levels, there's only one direction for this to eventually go. It goes from extreme greed, usually all the way back to fear or extreme fear. This is very reminiscent and running very parallel to the current housing market, which is still near record level highs. So when you see this kind of extreme greed, whether it's the stock market or the housing market, it reminds me of the famous investor Warren Buffett, who says, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. That's what you have to take into account when it comes to this kind of situation, whether it's the stock market or the housing market. You need to exercise caution when you see this kind of extreme greed, whether it's in the stock market or in the housing market. You need to do the opposite of what you're seeing in the public domain. So the other big issue that a lot of people are not talking about is that massive layoffs are coming in 2024, as you can see in this headline here from an article that just came out recently from Newsweek. But more importantly, I want to show you a couple of specific details within this article that are pretty stunning. Let's take a look at those right now. So focus your attention right in the middle of the screen in that small blue highlighted paragraph. I'm going to read it to you real quick. It says, in the survey, nearly 4 in 10 companies said they are likely to have layoffs in 2024, prompting increased fears of a recession around the corner. More than half of the companies also said they plan to implement a hiring freeze in 2024. Now, as we scroll down just a little bit deeper into the article, take a look at that blue highlighted sentence. I'm going to read it to you real quick. It says, The news comes as Google is reportedly gearing up to lay off 30,000 employees in its ad sales units in favor of AI ad tech. That basically means artificial intelligence is now going to start to take over a lot of regular jobs, and Google is about to lay off 30,000 people, which is about 20% of their workforce. So let's just think about this for a second, guys. I just showed you that there's extreme greed in the stock market. We all know there's extreme greed in the housing market, and now we're starting to see massive potential layoffs that are going to be coming in 2024. When you see this kind of information coming out, guys, this is not the time to buy high-ticket items. This is the time to try to save money, hunker down, and not do anything and let this storm pass and wait for better buying opportunities. So let's swing this back to the real estate market. Home prices are still massively overinflated, but we continue to hear this absurd gaslighting information from certain media personalities. Take a look at this short video clip.
You're much better off buying something now while you can. Because if you don't have a chit in the game and you continue to be a tenant and wait the market out, which many people are thinking right now they should be doing, they're dead wrong. Because the minute actual interest rates actually come down just one more point, everybody's going to jump into the market and you're going to be paying a lot more for your house. So if you have any way of getting the cash together and getting into the market and buying a house and getting out of the rental, which is tempting to keep because it's a little cheaper, don't do it. Buy yourself a house.
So do you see what I'm talking about, guys? This is a media personality with a large real estate portfolio who has a vested interest in keeping the real estate market propped up. And if that's not bad enough, she doubles down with this absurd comment. Take a look at this.
Here's an interesting thing that I only discovered this last week. I looked at the average interest rate in the last 50 years in America, and it was almost 8%. And yet people relatively are seeing our current interest rates as a lot of money. They're really not. They're simply average.
So not only are these just stunningly ignorant comments, but the most important thing is you got to really listen to what a person is not saying. Rent is not a little bit cheaper. Rent is a lot cheaper than owning a home right now. Take a look at this short video clip.
The average rental rate is a little over $2,100 a month, and the average 30-year mortgage payment is a little over $3,300 a month.
And secondly, the other comment that she made about interest rates right now being at historical averages, while that's true, what she fails to mention is that it was over 20 years ago when we had interest rates this high and the cost of living was far different. Take a look at this graphic coming up. All right, so I created this custom graphic because I really wanted to illustrate to you guys the difference in the cost of living the last time interest rates were around 7%, which was over 20 years ago. So you can see at the top, 2002, that's the last time we were at 7%. You can see right underneath it, average home price, $185,000. Average household income, $42,000. Now take a look on the far right, 2023, average home price, $430,000. Average household income, $74,000. So in the last 20 years, the average household income has only gone up about $30,000, but the average home price has gone up $250,000. So again, the problem is when you see media personalities talking about how interest rates are at historical averages, the last time they were this high was 20 years ago. But look at the difference in the cost of living 20 years ago compared to today. It's apples and oranges. It makes no sense to use that as a reference point because we know cost of living back then compared to now is not even close to how expensive it is today. Now, since I'm located here in beautiful Las Vegas, I wanted to show you some examples of some absurdly overpriced homes here on the popular real estate website Zillow. Let's take a look at those right now. All right, so I'm on the popular real estate website Zillow. Now, since I happen to be located here in the Las Vegas area, I want to show you some examples of homes that are for sale here in the Las Vegas area, starting in the luxury category and then working down closer to the average price point of about $450,000, just to show you some of the extreme greed still going on by home sellers. So let's take a look at this first example. All right, so I want to start with this first luxury home for sale here in the Las Vegas area, and then I'm going to quickly work down closer to the average price point. You can see in the lower left, this home is currently listed at $3,750,000. It's a 5-bedroom, 6-bath, 6,000 square foot home. But more importantly, I want to show you the price history chart down below just to show you the extreme greed going on right now with these home sellers. Let's take a look at that right now. All right, so let's look at the price history on this one because this one is really pretty outrageous. Take a look down here in the bottom left where I highlighted this in blue. In March of 2021, this home sold for $1,525,000. Take a look right above it. October 2023, about 2.5 years later, they listed this home for $3,950,000. That's a $2.5 million increase in that 2.5 year window. That is absolutely unheard of in the real estate industry. And even though this home has been fully remodeled, that is beyond extreme. If you take a look just above it, Right there in November of 2023, just a little while ago, they just did a price reduction finally of about $200,000, which in my opinion is meaningless on a home that's massively overpriced like this. This is what you need to watch out for in the real estate market, especially here in the Las Vegas real estate market. This home was most likely bought by an investor or an investment group. They remodel the home and then they try to flip the home for a massive profit. Now, even though they recently reduced the price of this home $200,000, there's no way in the world a home goes from $1.5 million about 2.5 years ago to $3.95 million in that time period, even if they fully remodel the home in 18 karat gold. It's crazy. People even at the luxury level would be nuts to buy a home at this kind of price point, and you can see that they're doing a reduction on the price because they can't get that original price of almost $4 million. All right, so now let's take a look at this second example of a home for sale here in the Las Vegas area. Now we're definitely coming down closer to the average price point, which in Las Vegas is about $450,000. So you can see in the lower left, this home is currently listed at $550,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, just over 1,800 square foot home. But I want you guys again to take a look at the price chart history and the extreme greed going on right now with these sellers. Let's take a look at that right now. All right, so let's look at the price history on this one because this is truly mind-boggling. Take a look down here in the bottom left where I highlighted this in blue. This says October 26, 2023. So this is just a couple of months ago. This home sold for $265,000. Now, if we look just above it, it says 11/2/23. A week later, they listed this home for sale for $600,000, which makes absolutely no sense. And then right before Christmas, they just did a price change and they reduced it $50,000 down to $550,000. So this is another perfect example of what I would call an investor special. This is someone who probably bought the home below market value. They fixed it up and now they're trying to flip it again for a massive profit. These are the kinds of homes, guys, and I'm sure they're all over the country, but they're especially more prominent here in the Las Vegas area where there's a lot of investors. I would advise anybody to stay away from these kinds of homes with a 10-foot pole until prices come back down to reality. All right, so let's take a look at this third and final example of a home for sale here in the Las Vegas area. You can see on the bottom left, this home is currently listed at $558,000. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,300 square foot home. So this is a relatively small home for that kind of price point. It's fully remodeled, but again, I want to show you guys the price history chart down below just to show you again the extreme seller greed that's going on with this particular home. All right, so let's look at the price history on this particular home. Take a look down here in the bottom left where I highlighted this in blue. It says November of 2022, so a little over a year ago, this home sold for just over $218,000. Now take a look just above it. The sellers decided to list the home a little bit less than a year after they bought it for $558,000. That's over $350,000 more from the purchase price of what they bought it at for $218,000, and now they're listing it for $558,000. Now again, this is probably an investor. They probably bought the home under market value. They remodeled it, and now they're trying to flip it for a huge profit. This is what I'm talking about, guys. You need to stay away from a lot of these investor specials, as I call them, because there's a lot of investors that are very greedy. They're trying to make as much profit as possible. I would advise anybody that's looking at homes, especially here in the Las Vegas area, you need to be careful of these kind of homes because there's a lot of them here where they're completely overpriced, in my opinion, and you need to stay away from them. So I have 2 words for you guys as we head into the new year. Buyer beware. You see what certain media personalities and certain media outlets are saying that make absolutely no sense. We still know that most homes across the country are massively overinflated, and I understand everybody's life circumstances are different. Some people don't have the luxury of being able to wait things out, but if you do have the ability to wait things out, I strongly suggest you do so because I think home prices, especially as we go through the latter part of 2024, are going to be coming down. So before we end today's video, I just want to give a shout out to my favorite comment from last week's video, and that goes to SW. Now I'm going to put his comments up here on screen, and it's going to really blow your mind. Take a look at this. So I'm just going to read this to you. Zillow is baffling. I sold my New York City condo 2 months ago for $1,075,000. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The Zestimate then was about $1,050,000. It is currently not on the market, but I just checked the Zestimate for fun, and it is $1,861,200. What? There is no way that is what it would list for now, not even close. Bad Zillow. So that's yet another perfect example of how baffling the algorithm is on Zillow, and you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt because there's no way those are true values. So I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say, whether it's a crazy example like that on Zillow that you guys personally found, or whether or not you completely disagree with those media personalities that I showed you earlier in the video. definitely drop me a comment down below. And my favorite comment from this week's video, I'm going to give a direct on-screen shout out to in next week's video. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I also hope you appreciate my transparency. Like I've said before, I'm always going to keep it 100% real on this channel regarding the overall real estate market, with specific emphasis here in the Las Vegas area. So again, guys, like I said earlier in the video, time is on your side in my opinion. I definitely think if you can wait things out, I strongly suggest you do that before considering buying a home. I think home prices are definitely going to be coming down later in 2024. So if you have time on your side, be patient, wait things out. I know everybody's circumstances are different. So if you are thinking about relocating to beautiful Las Vegas, whether it's next month or in a few months, definitely reach out to me when that time is right for you. I've got your back. I'm a local real estate agent here. I've lived here for nearly 20 years. I know every inch of this city. When the time is right for you, definitely reach out. Just call, text, or email me anytime, and I'll help you find that perfect dream home. I hope you guys all have a great 2024, and I'll see you in the next video.